Ever feel like the human side of work kind of gets lost sometimes, between deadlines, spreadsheets, all that?
Yeah, totally.
We're diving into this article today from WillingPen, and it really got me thinking about this.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Leading with Love and Embracing People Beyond Positions.
Right.
And I gotta say, my first thought was, okay, leading with love. It sounds a little,
A little bit hallmarky.
yeah, like, is this a motivational poster? But then getting into it, it really gets into the practical side of things.
It really does. And, I think it kicks off with a line that kind of sets the whole tone. Your legacy is not the balance sheet, but the lives you touch.
Ooh, I like that.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. Although part of me thinks, well, that's easy to say if you're not the one, worried about making payroll.
Sure, sure.
But it makes you think, are we measuring success in the right way? Like, what if we did start with people?
See, I think that's exactly the point. It's not that, profits don't matter,
Right.
but it's about saying, okay, what if people were the priority?
Okay. But how do you actually do that? Because I feel like every company has that on the wall. We value our people.
Right. It's just words.
Exactly. And then it's back to business as usual.
Yeah.
So how does it go beyond just talking about it?
Well, I think one of the things this article does really well is it breaks it down into things you can actually do. Like, it's not this vague idea. It actually says, do this.
Mm.
For example, one of the things it talks about is the importance of appreciation, daily appreciation.
Okay.
And not just like, good job, but like specific things that people are doing and calling it out publicly.
That actually reminds me, I had a boss one time and she did this. And it's funny because it wasn't even that big of a deal, the thing that I had done. But her like acknowledging it in front of everybody else, it like I rode that wave for weeks. It
Good.
was amazing.
Yeah.
So it's like that feeling seen and valued.
Exactly. And it even says in the article, encouragement is the oxygen for resilience.
Ooh, I like that.
Think about that. If you're putting yourself out there and you're putting in the effort and then nothing, you get nothing back.
Yeah.
How demotivating is that? But when you feel appreciated, you have that resilience to keep going,
Mm-hmm.
even when things get tough.
So it's more than just being nice. There's an actual impact on performance. But is it really as simple as like saying good job more often? What about those like, really kind of cutthroat workplaces?
Yeah. So, I mean, it's definitely not just about, empty praise. The article talks about weaving it into the actual company culture.
Okay.
And you're right, that's not always easy, especially when you're in those high-pressure, high-stakes environments. The article talks about, things like mentorship programs, workshops that are focused on personal and professional development.
So like creating opportunities to actually grow and be more than just like your job title.
Exactly.
That whole embracing people beyond positions
Right.
thing. It's almost like it's saying like look beyond the job title and see the person, see their potential.
Absolutely. Their
Yeah.
passions even.
Exactly. And you nurture those. And that can be really good for the company, for the organization, because, if you feel valued,
Right.
if you feel supported, you're going to do your best work. Right?
Totally. Though I can imagine some people listening being like, okay, but what about the bottom line?
Right.
Like, how's this going to, make us more money? Did the article talk about that?
It does. It actually it argues that a culture of kindness actually leads to people being more innovative, more productive.
Really?
Yeah. There's even a study in here that they mention where, that these companies with really high employee engagement,
Okay.
they outperform other companies financially. So
Right.
it does make a difference.
So it's like that whole like happy people, more productive,
Right.
but like backed up by research, which I like.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, there's one more thing in this article that I gotta ask you about because it kind of threw me off a little bit. It's the section on vulnerability.
Okay.
Now, I'm all about like open communication, right?
Sure.
But this article actually says vulnerability is not a weakness, but a true power move. And I don't know, that feels a little risky at work, don't you think?
It definitely, yeah, it can feel kind of counterintuitive,
Yeah.
especially in a workplace
Right?
where you're supposed to be, projecting confidence.
You
and-
gotta have it all together.
Right. You have it all together.
I got this.
But this article makes a case for why that can actually make you a more effective leader.
Okay, I gotta hear this. So how do you actually do that without it being, too personal?
Right. Yeah. No, it's a good question. It's about being authentic without oversharing.
Okay.
It's about, admitting when you don't know something.
Oh.
owning up to mistakes, being open about, maybe some challenges you're facing.
Mm-hmm.
Not in a way to like deflect blame or anything like
Yeah,
that, but
yeah.
just to be real
Yeah.
and to open up that dialogue.
So leading with authenticity, not like pretending to be perfect.
Exactly, exactly. And they actually give a really good example in the article. They talk about um, a CEO who made a big mistake,
Oh,
a
wow.
business error, and they owned up to it publicly.
Oh,
Like they didn't try to hide it. They didn't try to blame anybody else.
interesting.
And they talked about what they were going to do to fix it,
Mm.
what they learned from it.
Wow.
And it actually, it helped,
So it built trust. It didn't like wreck their reputation.
because it makes you relatable, right?
Right.
It shows that you're human.
Yeah.
You make mistakes. We all do.
It's like that. It's like that saying, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care.
Right.
Like showing your human side makes people know that you're in it with them, not above them.
Yes, exactly.
Mm.
And it creates this culture of what they call psychological safety,
I like that.
where people feel safe taking risks, maybe admitting mistakes, asking for help, and not feeling judged for it.
Yeah, that's huge because then people can actually, you know, grow and learn from those mistakes, not feel like they have to hide.
Right, exactly.
So it's not about like being nice all the time.
Yeah.
It's about creating this environment, this culture where people feel like safe,
Yeah.
supported,
Safe to be themselves.
but, like they can bring their whole selves to work, you know?
100%, yeah. And that, I think, is what ultimately benefits everybody.
Totally. And here's the thing I was thinking about with this whole leading with love idea.
Yeah.
It's easy to think, well, I'm not the boss.
Right.
Like this doesn't apply to me. But it's not just for like CEOs and managers.
Right. No, not at all.
Yeah.
Because it's really about, at the end of the day, how we treat each other.
Yeah.
Regardless of, what your title is or where you are in the whole scheme of things.
Right.
It's about bringing those values
Yeah. Yeah.
to every interaction.
It's like what you were saying before about that study about employee engagement. It's about feeling valued,
Yes.
respected,
Right.
like you belong.
Yes. 100%.
And that's not you don't have to be a manager to do that. That's just a human thing.
It's a human thing. And I love how the article ends.
Oh yeah. How's it end?
It says, remember, your position does not define you. You are defined by the love you sow.
Ooh. I like that a lot.
Right.
Yeah, it's a good reminder that we all have that power no matter where we are in our careers, you know.
Exactly.
It's
Exactly.
to make that kind of impact.
100%. So yeah, as you're going about your day, think about, how you can bring that into your work. Even if it's just little things,
Yeah.
just being kind, a genuine compliment, helping somebody out.
Just that human connection.
Exactly.
Yeah, I love that. Well, on that note, I think we'll wrap up this deep dive. It's definitely given us a lot to think about. Hopefully you two out there listening, let us know what you think. And until next time, keep diving deeper.